Saiyans are one of the strongest races that one can find within the Dragon Ball world. But why is that? Is it because their power levels are so high? Well, actually, no. In the Dragon Ball world, Saiyans actually have a battle power considered low by most standards. Your upper-class warriors, if not Vegeta himself, were no higher than a power level of 4,000. And that was just Paragus and Nappa. According to Frieza in the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, the Saiyans who had their weapons trained on him during his ascension announcement had a battle power of 2,000, which was considered high for a Saiyan. And if we count Raditz, who himself is considered an elite warrior, his battle power was no higher than 1,000. Below him was Beets, who would eventually accompany Paragus to Planetoid Vampa to rescue Broly. He was considered a standard warrior, and his power level was lower than the toddler Broly, whose battle power at that time was no higher than 920. This is a hurdle that most humans can overcome on their own. That being said, the events of the Saiyan Saga were actually by far much more than the average race would have to deal with, as most Saiyans were likely at about the same power level as Goku and Piccolo were during this time. So if Saiyans don't have a very high battle power compared to other races, such as Frieza's race who seemed to be born with monstrous power levels, then why was it that Frieza and the entire universe for that matter feared them? Was it that Beerus continually paid them visits? Well, this has to do little with the power level they have at birth, and more of the power level that they can gain through their lives. Welcome to the Amagi. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. We've also noticed that a lot of folks who are watching our videos aren't actually subscribed to the channel. We know that YouTube does a good job of getting you the things that you want to watch, but if you want to make sure that you don't miss a single upload, or if you just want to support the channel, we would really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. Thanks so much. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all of our social media. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. Goku is a prime model of what it means to be a Saiyan, except for his attitude. Vegeta's attitude is a little more Saiyan-esque, but Goku's growth is what counts for what a Saiyan is. During the Granola arc, between the rounds of fighting, we're treated to a flashback involving Bardock and his assault on planet Cereal, alongside his other Saiyan brethren. Here, Bardock draws the ire of the Heaters and ends up battling against Gas, who at the time had a battle power far exceeding that of Bardock. Yet, as the battle dragged on, Gas's edge slowly began to decrease, as Bardock continued to adapt. Eventually, Bardock was able to overtake Gas with nothing but pure adaptation. And therein lies what makes a Saiyan truly special: their ability to grow and adapt. Saiyans are among the most adaptive race in the universe, taking on immediate mutations and adaptations in their effort to grow stronger and survive. This can be seen in the classic Saiyan Zenkai, where if they're brought close to death, they will eventually come back even stronger than before. Vegeta was well aware of this, as he attempted to cheese it on Namek to grow strong enough to fight Frieza, and to his credit, it actually worked pretty well. But in the end, he didn't have the kick needed. Goku did this as well, many times. Notably, Goku's power level exceeded that of the Ginyu Force, topping out at 180,000 during his battle with Captain Ginyu, but after recovering from near death, his battle power increased to a whopping 3 million. Why does Goku grow so quickly compared to Vegeta, who's considered the cream of the crop for Saiyans? Well, Toriyama once explained that the source of power for most Saiyans is their S cells, which may or may not be, and don't quote me on this, the same enzyme that is often given off by a Saiyan's tail, which allows them to undergo rapid transformation and turn them into a great ape, another thing Saiyans are known for. Saiyan's strength can be explained using their in-universe science, in that much of their adaptation has to do with chemical release, not too different from human puberty. Except Saiyans are always in this state, and their form of puberty encompasses more than just slight physical change, but spiritual change and even complete transformation. This further explains why Saiyans age more slowly, and why they stay children well into their teen years, until one day they suddenly wake up as adults. Gohan is the rare exception for this, as Goten, Trunks, and even Goku himself remained in a child's form until they were at least 14. Saiyan S cells may be what are to blame for their rapid adaptation, and are likely the trait that Cell possessed from Saiyans, as he also possessed the Super Saiyan transformations and ability to adapt as he fights. But how come some Saiyans are stronger than others? Well, the answer could be a simple mutation. Broly is a legendary Super Saiyan, and he's named such because of a particular mutation that makes him a freak, in the words of King Vegeta. This means Broly had a mutation in his DNA which made him predisposed to rapid adaptation, and made him naturally stronger. But the issue with such DNA is that it generally also comes with mental issues. All traits within a Saiyan are amplified when they're born legendary, both the good traits and the bad. And for a race whose only goal in life is adaptation through fighting, eating, and procreating, this makes Broly essentially the Yujiro Hanma of Saiyans. Despite this, the Dragon Ball Super version of him is far more reserved and kind than his Z counterpart, which may actually be the answer as to why Broly in Super is so much stronger than his Z counterpart, as it is known that a Saiyan who lives a peaceful life actually gains more S cells than one sent to war. And though Broly was raised on a relatively inhospitable world, his natural strength leaves pretty much anything unable to harm him, which makes the world peaceful to him. And considering that the most fighting experience he's ever had was the few training sessions he had with his father, to which Paragus actually had to remove Broly's tail out of fear, something most Saiyans would never think to do, as a Saiyan's tail is a source of pride to them, as Raditz mentioned during his visit to Earth. This was done in hopes of nerfing Broly, but it didn't really do much besides taking his great ape form and condensing its power down, making it only able to be expressed through his more humanoid form, which is what we call Broly's wrathful state. That being said, Broly is not the only Saiyan capable of utilizing his great ape form without leaving his base form. Gohan has been shown multiple times in both filler and canon to be capable of utilizing his great ape form's power in base. This is first seen when he was a child and his tail was starting to grow back. But more recently, Gohan utilized the power of great ape when he achieved his beast mode. With the red eyes representing the great ape inside of him, it was Uzaru that put the beast in beast mode. Other Saiyans have displayed similar feats of power, whereas the Super Saiyan 4 state also utilizes great ape in a more compact form. Speaking of Super Saiyan, these transformations are the pinnacle of Saiyan adaptation. Have you ever wondered why Saiyans have a transformation for everything? It's almost like they're thinking up new transformations on the fly. Well, that's because their body is rapidly adapting to make use of new gimmicks, techniques, and powers, in hopes that they might further adapt. Super Saiyan. The first Saiyan transformation. This is the root of all other Super Saiyan transformations, and contrary to popular belief, this includes Super Saiyan God, as without the Super Saiyan form, it would just be Saiyan God. Super Saiyan was first witnessed on Namek during the Frieza Saga, utilized by Goku and later achieved by Vegeta and displayed by future Trunks. With the Saiyans' hormones released in one desperate push to quickly adapt and save themselves or something they love, not too different from when a mother lifts a car off their baby without injury or strain. Originally believed to be a 50 times increase, this modifier has fallen out of favor with the community, as its power has been shown and started to grow stronger with training. You can't tell me that grade 4 isn't stronger than what Goku used on Namek, especially when we see that it's stronger than grade 2 and 3, both of which have surpassed the 50 times multiplier. So by this point, multipliers mean very little to Super Saiyans, as this is merely the form they take on when they want to achieve a new mutation with a higher than average strength. Super Saiyan 2. This is considered a Saiyan who has gone beyond and broken through the Super Saiyan wall. Considered the Super Saiyan of Super Saiyans, this form is essentially what happens when a Saiyan becomes so used to their new mutation that it's muscle memory. Then, when a Saiyan faces a foe they can't overcome, their body once more adapts and essentially goes through the adaptation into a Super Saiyan all over again, while already being in Super Saiyan, which causes an increase in strength, as well as all of those traits that you thought you conquered when you mastered the previous Super Saiyan form. Super Saiyan 3. Much like Super Saiyan 2 can be mastered. When this is done, Super Saiyan 3 becomes a possible transformation. However, this transformation is not considered like Super Saiyan 2, as much as it seems to be closer to grade 3 than anything. As the hair grows out, the muscles increase, and your stamina takes a hit. This appears to be a forced mutation, one that has only ever been unlocked under special circumstances, those being either through fusion, where the body of the one achieving it can handle the strain, or if you eliminate the process of dying by already being dead. Likely an unnatural state, this form comes dangerously close to being everything a Saiyan can muster in their body. Super Saiyan 4. When Super Saiyan 3 proves to be too much for his body to handle, Goku seeks the old Kai's help, who mentions that the tail of a Saiyan can in fact increase their abilities. With his tail returned to him, Goku finds that he can maintain Super Saiyan 3 in his childlike body, but his strength doesn't exactly increase. It is only after Goku learns to control the Super Saiyan form while utilizing his Great Ape transformation that Super Saiyan 4 is born. This form is considered the pinnacle of Saiyan adaptation, and is said by the old Kai to awaken all of Goku's latent power and potential, likely in a manner not too dissimilar from Potential Unleashed. But it doesn't end there, as Super Saiyan 4 grows more powerful as it fights at an increased rate. When a technique is used on a Saiyan utilizing Super Saiyan 4, the Saiyan's body remembers that technique and automatically adapts to it so that the same attack can't work a second time, making the user practically immune to any attack they've survived once already, with extra exposures to it only further increasing their resistance to said attack. When a Saiyan runs out of power in this form, they can have others place their energy into the Saiyan, which not only replenishes their strength, but increases it well beyond their natural abilities, thereby increasing their base potential, something that translates over to all other forms, as Goku displayed in the Super 17 saga, where his Super Saiyan form was equal to and beyond even Oob, who had given Baby a run for his money, when previously Goku's Super Saiyan 3 form couldn't hold a candle to it. This form is generally known as Super Full Power Saiyan 4, and is essentially the same thing that Jiren did in his fight against Ultra Instinct Goku. But still, if one goes even further beyond, whether because of the strength of those putting energy into them, or whether God Ki is involved, a Saiyan can further evolve this form into the Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Limit Break form, which is shown to go toe-to-toe with foes that even Ultra forms, such as Ultra Instinct, would have problems with. Super Saiyan God. This form may be on another path, but it also is the pinnacle of Saiyan adaptation. Whereas Super Saiyan 4 was the pinnacle of natural Saiyan adaptation, Super Saiyan God is the pinnacle of unnatural Saiyan adaptation, in that Saiyans somehow have the ability to gain divine energy through a ritual, something not seen in any other race in the Dragon Ball franchise. The only time we witness another race that isn't naturally divine gaining divinity without training is when Oob was born with divine energy. He, however, was only born with it because he is the reincarnation of Majin Buu, who had in times past absorbed all of the divine energy of multiple Kai. Saiyans, though, somehow managed to create divine energy through their ritual. Why this is would be left unknown to us, but no doubt has to do with their ability to adapt, and many hint that they were at some point in the past connected with deities in a manner not too dissimilar from the Namekians, who may or may not be descended from Zalama, the creator of Super Dragon Balls. Once Saiyans have attained this form once, it remains within their repertoire, with them being able to call on it again later, and even manage to take concepts used with this form and apply it to other forms, creating a technique later to be known as Godlike Saiyan. Super Saiyan Blue. After a Saiyan either becomes a Super Saiyan God or begins training to become one, the Saiyan learns a technique known as Saiyan Beyond God, or Godlike Saiyan. This technique takes the concepts used in Super Saiyan God and applies them to any form, including base, allowing them to ascend to strength levels not too dissimilar from a Super Saiyan God without transforming. When this technique is mastered, a Saiyan may add it to other forms that they have true control and mastery over, as Godlike Saiyan is an ability that requires the Saiyan to have control over their ki, and anything less than perfect can be devastating. As such, it can only be used with the mastered Super Saiyan state, unless the user is a deity naturally born, who further fuses with or steals the body of a Saiyan, one prime example being Goku Black. In such cases, the form the Saiyan takes would be Super Saiyan Rosé, which, while colored slightly differently, serves the exact same purpose as Super Saiyan Blue. Also known as Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, it has been believed that this form happens when one adds Super Saiyan to the Super Saiyan God transformation, but this is a misconception, as Toriyama himself stated in the Resurrection F promotional art book that Super Saiyan Blue is what happens when a Saiyan uses godlike Saiyan and then transforms into a Super Saiyan. This is further established by Goku, who states that this power is what happens when a Saiyan with the power of a Super Saiyan God transforms into a Super Saiyan, insinuating through not only statement, but context of the series at that time that Super Saiyan Blue is less of a mixture of Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan, and more that it's a mixture of Super Saiyan God's concepts, that being godlike Saiyan added to Super Saiyan, which turns the form divine. Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. Achieved in the Tournament of Power and used only by Vegeta, this transformation was brought on by a limit break and further adaptation while utilizing the mastered Super Saiyan Blue state. Considered what happens when a Saiyan breaks through their self-limiting shell into deeper potential, the Saiyan undergoes a rapid evolution as the name implies, creating a new dimension of power while using Super Saiyan Blue. Super Saiyan Rage. Often considered to be the most ridiculous of ass-pull transformations, Super Saiyan Rage is a transformation that is also an adaptation, but appears to be more of an adaptation of technique than a physical evolution. The user, after mastering Grade 3, learns to compress its unruly energy down to both increase strength and mobility while negating waste, allowing the user to continue fighting for far longer. According to Whis' statement during Resurrection F in regards to godlike Saiyan being an ability where the user compresses their ki and controls it, Super Saiyan Rage appears to be Trunks' unintentional attempt to attain divinity much like his father and adversary, which explains why it so easily trounces Goku Black, capable of knocking the latter unconscious during its second exhibition. This transformation could be the stepping stone to Super Saiyan Blue for a crudely trained individual who himself is adapting along a different path, mixing both the primal with the divine into a form that is criminally underrated. Legendary Super Saiyan. Easily divined as that form that's big, green, and angry. Only the most badass of badass Saiyans may make use of this transformation. Generally the result of a legendary Super Saiyan's genes, this form, as well as all forms connected to it, be it A-type, C-type, legendary Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, 4, and God form, all share the same traits. That being this form deriving itself from an uncommon mutation within the user's body. While A-type is merely the suppressed form of it, it isn't technically a form, and is more or less considered the pseudo-Super Saiyan of legendary forms, being that the body wishes to enter an adapted form, but is held back for some reason, either through remote control or through inability to safely utilize said power. C-type is essentially the first Super Saiyan form, and while named differently, this transformation isn't really all that much different from the standard Super Saiyan form, only that its user has deeper wells of ki. Super Saiyan B-type, more commonly known as just legendary Super Saiyan, is by far the most well distinguishable of them all. Possessing uncommonly green hair, likely from the same mutation that makes a Saiyan's golden ki turn green. This would insinuate that Paragus also had the potential to utilize this form as his ki was also green. This makes sense, as mutations can be passed down from parent to child, with Broly being the perfect storm to truly awaken it. This form is considered similar, if not the legendary variant of the Grade 3 transformation, and has been stated in at least one Spanish guide that this form is indeed an extension of Grade 3. My sources are just trust me bro, because I cannot remember the name of the guide, but if anyone else does, please mention it in the comments. Please and thank you. Legendary Super Saiyan 2 is exactly what it sounds like, the Super Saiyan 2 variant of the legendary Super Saiyan state, with all other transformations in this line being similar to their average counterparts, merely with legendary energy and a powerhouse form that is common to those with this mutation, in a way that seems counterintuitive for a divine form. Besides their natural forms, Saiyans may make use of various other forms, such as Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. While it is possible that other races may make transformations out of these techniques, Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego are not supposed to be transformations as much as a state of being, which explains why Ultra Instinct should be used in base form predominantly, and that mastery of it can only come through training. Ultra Ego is the same way, as Beerus doesn't generally show any true transformation, as much as he merely radiates Hawkeye energy. Vegeta, however, has his hair turn purple and accidentally misplaces his eyebrows. Either that or they burn off because of his inability to master the form. Ultra Ego appears to be more natural to a Saiyan, as its adaptation traits coincide perfectly with a Saiyan's biology, with Goku taking cues from Vegeta, opting to disregard mastered Ultra Instinct for the Omen variant, where he can focus more on his negative emotions, which he has up till this point had to lock away to use the perfected variant. Once Goku utilizes his emotions, he finds that his body once more begins adapting, which pushes Omen's potential beyond perfected Ultra Instinct, allowing it to rival Ultra Ego and give Goku the edge he needs. As you can see, the Saiyans' greatest trait is their adaptive natures, which is not only why they're feared by Frieza, but respected by others as a true warrior race. Honestly, Frieza and his race are also adaptive on likely a scale equal to or far greater than your ordinary Saiyans. Why he feared the Super Saiyan is chalked up to ignorance about himself and others, as merely a few years worth of training pushed Frieza from Namek Saga strength to possibly Destroyer God level, all without having to train to utilize divine energy. Heavens help us if Frieza becomes interested in becoming a god. If he manages to achieve God Ki, then the heroes are truly screwed. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts on this matter are. Let me hear your opinions on Saiyan biology and what your preferred transformation is. Even if it's a lower form, because as Saiyans have shown, everything is fluid and adaptable, meaning even likely the Great Ape form could rival divine forms if it wanted to. Also, be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. If you do, who knows? Maybe you'll go Super Saiyan 2. Until next time, peace.
Did you enjoy our video? Well, then be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.